This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. Competed in nearly 700 PGA Tour events, 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Welcome into Golf with Jay Delsing on 101 ESPN. We do this every Sunday morning, 8 to 10, as we come to you from the CarShield Studios. And as always, we're presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. Jay, good morning. We've got a big-time guest coming up, David Feherty. Can't wait to visit with him. But first things first, good morning.
Hey, Danny, what's going on? I love doing the show with you. This is going to be a great show. We got Feherty on. We got our buddy Steve Burks coming on the show. Live Golf just wrapped up its season. The girls won the Solheim Cup. We got lots of cool stuff to talk about.
All right, first thing that comes to mind when you think of David Feherty. What comes to mind for Jay? You know him very well.
Character. Just you know what? Two sides of him. He's incredibly funny and just makes me laugh all the time. But then the other side is the troops first stuff, and I just love that stuff. He's given me the opportunity to help him in some of these events, and it's just meant the world to me. I just absolutely love it. These men and women heroes, and some of them fallen in ways that are, oh my gosh, almost unimaginable, with some of their missing limbs, missing eyes, just body parts gone, and their attitudes are so great. And I mean, they'd go back and fight for our country again. But Danny, when I think of them, I realize that the whole saying that freedom isn't free, and what these men and women have given up. Wow. I mean, you and I get to do a radio show. You and I get to go play golf together. You have 4 Emmys to your name and done Cardinal baseball for 25 years and on and on and on. But we don't get to do it if we don't live in the best country in the world, and it's not a free country.
Yeah, and he's given back so much, and I'm sure we're going to visit with him about that subject. David Feherty was a good player, wasn't he?
Damn good. Way, way underrated. Made one Ryder Cup team, was very close to making a second Ryder Cup team, and won 5 times in Europe. What's interesting about him, and more of the European guys in my generation, so we're both in our, I'm 60, I'll be 64 next month, and I think he's already 64 or 5, but he turned pro, and he said he was about a 3 or 4 handicap.
Really?
But back in the day, the
3
European...
or 4 handicap, and he turns pro.
And he turned pro. Yeah, that's what he was saying. And back in the day, it was just different, man. It was just different. So he literally learned to play, on the tour. And Ian Poulter was an extremely good handicap, but he was about a scratch when he turned pro, and it's awesome to see. The stories are great. The Euros, one of the things I like about the Euros, Danny, is I just feel like they have a greater appreciation for all these things that have happened to us. I feel like sometimes the U.S. player may be a bit mollycoddled, for lack of a better word, but just taken care of too much, and there's
coddled.
There's coddled, and so the European Tour players had a much tougher go of it at the beginning of that tour over there, and Feherty was one of the guys that was helped trying to put that tour on a map.
Man, I miss him on the PGA Tour broadcast for sure, on CBS or whatever. I miss his show. I miss all that. But one of the reasons I tune in to Live, and I did periodically throughout the summer, is because I wanted to listen to David Feherty, who became a number 1 analyst. And we'll ask him about that, what it meant to him to be the number 1 analyst for the sport, which is a big deal.
Well, Danny, last time we had Feherty on, he talked about, they made this offer a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm sure he'll mention that somewhere along the line in some sort of funny fashion. But he was also saying, what's left for me? I've never had the lead analyst job, but I like to have it. I've done all of this. I've had my own show. He did 8 years of shows and hit all sorts of milestones and interviewed the who's who of politics and Hollywood and the sports world and everything. Gosh, I still remember that meeting or that interview he had with Bill Russell.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
Bill Russell said his advice on what he would say to a young.
Kind.
Yep.
Just be kind.
Kind.
Yep.
Just wonderful. Just absolutely great.
All right, Jon Rahm, in his first season with LIV, wins the individual title. What a summer it's been for him. He had the infection in the foot. He misses the U.S. Open. We're talking about a guy, though, that goes out and wins the individual title and makes a boatload of money. He signed for a boatload, but then wins a ton of money. And he took a lot of heat, Jay, obviously, going to LIV, but it's been an interesting summer for him for sure.
It really has been. $16,737,904. Number one on the money list. Listen, here's the problem that, I'll just speak for myself, that I had with Jon Rahm. I don't doubt you. I don't blame you for taking the money. But the way that it all came about, you just sounded like the biggest, like you changed your mind in midstream, and we knew what was happening behind the scenes, Danny. They kept offering him more and more money until finally he said, okay.
Yeah.
And it was in chunks. It was like here's another $25 million. Here's another $25 million. Here's another $25 million. And finally, it almost gets to the point where you can't turn it down. And I get that, but he was surprised at how pissed everybody was at him. He was surprised at the reaction from John Q. Public. And quite frankly, I don't think he should have been. He did an absolute about face. People nowadays, Danny, you can't put anything out anywhere. They can pull it up and get your words and use your words to completely contrast what you're doing now. It's fine to say you changed your mind, but the premise he was using didn't make sense to people. He kept saying, is $200 million going to change my lifestyle? Is $300 million going to? Well, obviously something did.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And but you just
I don't know how you turn down the money, Jay.
I don't either.
To be honest with you,
I'm with you.
Hey, as much as we love the PGA Tour and LIV has been a thorn in their side, when you're offered that kind of money and you're Jon Rahm, I'm just not sure. And really, in any sport, if you're offered that kind of money, I don't know how you turn it down.
I agree. I don't know. I don't know either. It wasn't. Here's the deal, though. It's weird, Danny, and I've never had this happen to me. I don't think you have either. It wasn't like he was poor. Jon Rahm, what do you think? Jon Rahm, he'd won 2 major championships and all that money. He probably had
endorsements.
And the endorsements, probably what, 50?
Oh, yeah.
I bet you he had between $50 and $100 million in the bank already.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, hey, man, you don't have any dough and this is a no-brainer. But it's still that sort of money where it's like, man, I could do some cool stuff with this. I could take care of my family, not my children, my family, my siblings, my mother, my father. Who knows what he could do for Spanish golf, over. And so, yeah, I mean, it just does. It gives you a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility. It just rolled back to bite him because of his comments were so strong on why he wasn't taking the money.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yep.
At one point, you were 51st in the world, which probably would have gotten you a really nice deal with LIV. Taking you back then, okay? Let's fast forward. You're 51st in the world. Pretty nice deal with LIV. Jay Delsing, do you take the money?
I gone. I gone.
So you didn't have to think about that all that much.
Oh, Danny, I've got my second back surgery scheduled. I've got a knee replaced. I feel like I'd love to hear your opinion on this too. A lot of athletes will sit around and will talk, and everybody feels like you have a finite number of either plays in you or swings in you. And D, you never know when the last one is.
I just think about Brooks Koepka.
I know, right.
Why he jumped.
And the same thing with Bryson DeChambeau. He had just torn that and broken that helmet bone in his hand. And, I mean, you don't know how these surgeries are going to come back. Jordan Spieth's going through it right now, and he's rehabbing. He has no idea. Look at Tiger's body. all the crazy things. So,
and he just had another back surgery within the last 10 days.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yep. Unbelievable. So, Danny, 4 daughters, banging around on the tour, never won a championship out there. Yeah, I'd have gone.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
I would have gone. And I mean, I don't know if anybody would have ever offered that money, but I can't imagine turning it down.
How about the team format? Now you've seen a season or two with the team format. I like it, Jay. I think it adds to the value of LIV, and I wish that the PGA Tour would take a look at it. I don't know if you feel that way. We're both traditionalists when it comes to the game of golf, but I did think that was something that was a positive when I was watching LIV. It made it more interesting for me.
Oh, couldn't agree more, Danny. And here's the other thing. There's something to this. We can figure this. So I've how am I going to say this? Because I've been on the air. I still don't love LIV. I don't love what LIV has done, but I'm over not liking LIV, right? So they're here. God only knows. We know they got the money to stay forever if they want to, right? So here's the other thing I was thinking about. It's not like the PGA Tour owns golf. It's not like that.
That's a good way to put it.
Danny, when the NHL and the WHA had those leagues, or the AFL and the NFL for the National Football League, there was all kinds of angst that went on, back then. And now look what happened. They've all figured out a way to get it back together. There's just so many weird things about, like, why not come clean and tell everybody what the contracts are like?
Sure.
Why not? Okay, you don't want to tell us about the money? Fine. When do they expire? So, because, Danny, we could do a whole segment on this relegation business that we're going to get to, I know. But, we don't know.
So let's get to it right now. Bubba Watson looks to be on the outside looking in. You're talking about a Masters champion, did not have a good summer, and could be out of LIV. And he's not going to be welcome back to the PGA Tour. What happens to a guy like Bubba Watson and some of the others that are just trying to hang on and play on LIV? I mean, you just don't know. And that one shocked me a little bit because that's a huge name in the game of golf. Multiple Masters, and you say goodbye to Bubba Watson. That's big.
Danny, so folks, there's this area they call it the drop zone, meaning if you fall in this space, you are you are not guaranteed a spot next year. Now, does it mean you're guaranteed to be out? In my mind, it should. I don't think Bubba Watson's going to be out, but we're reading articles, and we did this off air, and it's saying that he's going to be out. So we've got Bubba Watson, a guy named Kali Samuja. I have no idea who he is. We've got a kid named Scott Vincent. We've got Brandon Grace, who is a world-class player. I don't know what's happened to him. I watched him shoot 62 in the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay when we were with the Fox golf team. This guy can golf his ball. Somehow he's wound up in that bottom 5 along with Kieran Vincent. So the Vincent boys are getting booted, and they're not going to be coming back. But here's the other tricky thing, Danny. Bubba Watson's a captain.
Of the team, yeah.
He's a captain of a team. So you're supposed to have equity. You're supposed to have equity ownership in that team.
That's right.
And I don't know. And see, that's also murky. Like, here's what I want to ask you. Or we can kick this around. Hey, Greg, is it because you don't have all the details figured out yet? Or is it because you're trying to be mysterious? I don't know. Part of me thinks it's so unorganized that they haven't dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's yet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I also think that there's meetings going back and forth, which we've heard about. By the way, how tone deaf was it on September 11th,
Danny,
to me with the Saudis?
Great call for bringing that up, because I got
about being tone deaf. Wow.
What are you doing, Jay Monahan?
Terrible.
On the 23rd anniversary of the horrific towers going down, and we know for a fact that the Kingdom was involved, and you're meeting in New York City with Yasser and the boys. Really?
Tone deaf. It was terrible. All right, I got something else I want to throw it. Let's make it a little lighter here.
Love it. Yeah, that's tough. But that needs to be said, Danny, because that is really in poor taste.
I want to ask David Feherty a simple question. Do you like the music that is played on Live? And it's in you when you watch the players, you can hear the music in the background.
Yep.
And what do you think about guys being in shorts?
Yep.
Golf to me is you're wearing pants.
Right.
It just is, and that's how I grew up with it, and that's what I think.
Here's another thing we need to consider. I think overall the shotgun start is squirrely. I really, really do. I feel like the golf course is meant to be played a certain way, Danny. There's natural buildup to the way the holes are laid out and things like that. Here's something that I overlooked that is really super cool because I've been taking sneak peeks at Live too. You've got every single person in the field at the golf course at the same time. So that means you take your young son, you take your young daughter out, and you got DJ and Koepka and DeChambeau and Joaquin Niemann and knock them off Brooks and knock them off down the list. They're all there at the same time.
Yeah. That
just doesn't happen enough on the regular tour. Now, if this tour were bigger, you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be limited. So I don't know if that, but have you thought about that? I mean, Danny, from a spectator standpoint, because I know that you've been plugging into Live broadcasts since the very beginning.
I think that they need to get somehow the PGA Tour, Live together, and the World Golf Rankings need to come together because it's crazy that some of these guys are not involved in the majors. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And me as a viewer and a golf fan, I want to see the best in the world. So if you're going to, for that tournament, open it up to Live players, let's get the best guys in there. Let's get the best and biggest names that you can possibly find. Even if they're on Live, let's bring them to the PGA Tour just for that one time. Just a major.
100%. I think that's it. And here's the other thing I'm so glad that you mentioned, World Golf Rankings. I mean, throw them away. Just throw them away. I mean, it's not relevant anymore.
Nope.
It's not relevant anymore. It's not right for us to be using them for criteria for anything. It's not right. I don't know, Danny. Because I still struggle conceptually with Live. Like, I don't get. And this is tied into the World Golf Rankings. You poached these great players, right? Where's the middle level? Because, Danny, I feel like we got boom, DeChambeau, Koepka, DJ, Patrick Reed, Garcia. So, and a lot of them are aging.
And Sergio, by the way, had a really good year.
He had a great year. Finished third. He had a great year. But Danny, it's hard to give much credence to those fields when if you get out of the top 10 players, nobody can play dead.
Right. And it's only 3 rounds. That's the other part of this too.
There's just some holes in it.
I just call it an exhibition.
Yeah.
I still feel it's an exhibition with certain guys making a ton of money.
Yeah. Oh man, a ton of money. And then the team concept would be, and it'll be interesting to ask David this as well. Because does the team concept keep the guys interested a little longer? D, you go out the first day and you shoot 75, go out the second day and you shoot 76. You're not winning.
Right.
But guess
your
what?
Team might.
Your team might. There's a lot of money on the line, so you're going to go out and bust your butt to try to put in a good round when typically you might go, let's go.
Book my flight, I'm out of here.
Book my flight, I'm going to get out of here. I got to get this thing. You wind up. The team money's no joke either. I mean, $4 million a week, and I mean, wow.
That's Jay. I'm Dan. That's a look at Live. We'll continue that because we've got David Feherty coming up. Can't wait to hear from him. One of the great voices ever, really ever in the game of golf. So David Feherty's coming up on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
I'm delighted to welcome the Amateur Players Tour to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. The APT team has worked so hard to establish a national golf tour for amateurs. Folks, don't miss out on this opportunity. If you love golf and ever wondered what all the fuss about tournament golf is, then this tour is for you. We just released the 2024 schedule, and it is a beast. There's 21 events currently in the metropolitan St. Louis area, with many more to come. But check out these golf courses: Paynes Valley, Ozark National, Stonewolf, Ambrier, Persimmon Woods, Gateway National, and a 36-hole event on Norwood's West Course, and many more. Okay, so the courses are certainly cool and nice, but what's really neat is the way the events are run and how they are run. The APT team does a fantastic job of closely monitoring handicaps and ensuring a good and fair competition. There are 5 divisions, a year-long points competition, major championships, elevated events, and much, much more. Right now, there are over 6,000 members in 41 different local chapters across the country. And all that's happened in just over 5 years. Join now and don't miss out on the best tournament golf in the country, run for amateurs by amateurs themselves. Go to amateurplayerstour.com. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
This is Chris Nagel. And you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
It's Golf with Jay Delsing. That's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and we have one of the preeminent voices in all of golf Liv's #1 analyst, and that is David Feherty. David, thanks for joining the show. We certainly appreciate it.
No problem. Nice to be with you.
Well, now, what are we giving you? One of the predominant voices in golf now, man. I mean, I guess this is getting real and serious, hey?
Oh no, yeah, that's completely bogus. I mean, I'm trying not to be heard whenever possible.
So, but we just wrapped up the Live year, and Jon Rahm obviously filled his pockets and played extremely well. David, I'm tired of bashing Live. I'm tired of. Give us your thoughts, man. I want to get the best players in the world together. I want to hear you more. What are your thoughts after you wrapped up your first year? And congratulations on the lead analyst gig, because you've got a bag full of awards and a lot of really great stuff. But to be the lead analyst is pretty cool, man.
No, it's been a lot of fun, Jay. It really has. And as for going forwards in golf, I'm it's like listening to fleas argue about who owns the dog. It's nobody owns the dog, man. It's just golf. And with this match coming up in December, I mean, hopefully that's a step in the right direction.
What do you think that does for golf and the golf fans to see Live players, PGA Tour players come together?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's terrific. I would like to see it sort of 8 or 10 players, playing against each other. And, I'd like to see, our guys with the ability to play, anywhere they want.
David, oh man, I've read this stuff about. So you're much more familiar with the DP and the European Tour, and Jon Rahm is trying to get Ryder Cup eligible. It's just It's so messy. But at the end of the day, man, I want to see this tradition continue. I mean, I'm obviously partial to the red, white, and blue, but I love watching that competition. This thing is it's just a mess. How do we get these people to come to the table? Because, our commissioner, I don't know how he has a job.
No, seriously. I mean, that's unbelievable, the fact that he still has a job. Incredibly badly handled. Both he and Pete Belly on the DP World Tour side, really screwed this up.
David, Jon Rahm wins this season-long individual title. For fans that are, following this a little bit and those that don't, what kind of year did he have? I mean, obviously he's very good, but as you're watching up close, what kind of year was it for Jon Rahm?
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing season for Jon. He didn't finish outside of the top 10 but once, and that was when he had to withdraw in Houston because of a foot injury. I mean, he's a stallion. Clearly one of the, an amazing year for him. Just so consistent, and he's got the heart of a champion. He can hit all the shots, and he can hit them when needed.
He's really amazing, because when he first got up, he ran a little hot. He's still got a little bit of a temper, but man, David, he's done a phenomenal job of kind of reeling that in, because we all know how crazy this game will make you. I mean, just look at you and I. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he could start an argument in an empty room when he first came out, And he's really done a great job of managing that, and maturing and turning himself into the player that he is.
What do you see happening with the Euros and this Ryder Cup situation? Do you see them acquiescing? And is it as simple as Jon paying I'm sure it's a hefty fine, but he's got a pocket full of dough now. Is it as simple as paying the fines?
Well, I mean, I would hope that they would, get rid of that, even, and just say, hey, let's all just play golf together. It's above my pay grade, which I should say is considerable. And I'm very happy to say so. But I really don't know, and I'm not sure that anybody does know, Jay.
David, when you looked at the team format this year, I personally follow Live, so I really enjoyed it, enjoyed the broadcast. But the team format, what did you think of that? Did you like it?
When I initially signed up, I was skeptical about a couple of things. One was the team format, and the other was the shotgun start. But they both worked, tremendously well. What it's done, the shotgun has put everyone on the range together. It's put everyone on the golf course together, in the clubhouse together afterwards, and there's a tremendous sense of camaraderie out there, which carries itself forward into the team aspect. These guys really are trying their hearts out, even when when you and I played, Jay, if we were, just made the cut and then didn't play great after that, there was a certain amount of can kicking going on. you don't see that with these guys. Even on a Sunday, if they're not in the tournament themselves, that team 4 scores to count, really it really makes a difference.
David, what's next for Liv? Because there's some murkiness in the contracts. We don't know how long these guys are, and they're talking about relegation. What do you see as next for them? Because, if this is going to be a thing, then I want it to be the best thing it can be, and and so in order for that to happen, we gotta get a few more better players, and we just have to. There's a couple of things that we just got to get. I guess maybe get used to is a thing too.
I think that's it's in the same vein as other team sports. There's relegation. You see it in the Premier League. In world-class soccer. Well, every time I say soccer, somewhere an Englishman, his hairpiece falls off. Football, I should say. And it's a complicated system in the middle. I think it needs to be simplified, but it is, it's the evolution of the league. I think they're still feeling things out.
What do you do, David, for the guys that didn't go? I mean, because eventually this thing's going to resolve itself, and somehow we're going to be back together. I don't know how, when you look at Rory, and I know he's a dear friend of yours, he walked away from a lot of dough. And I mean, I can't even imagine. And so when this thing does resolve itself, what is that? I mean, it's so far above my pay grade, I don't know where to go with it, but how is that going to come around? How are we going to come around to that?
Well, I've been asked this question, several times over the last few months, and the best answer I can come up with, Jay, is, as far as I know, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure that anybody is. It's really, to a certain extent, that it's a square peg and round hole situation. It's difficult to imagine how the two tours or the world tours come together, and the official golf world rankings are so irrelevant now that we really have to come up. I think the first thing we've got to come up with is a ranking system.
David, on the TV side, being a number one analyst, I'm curious about this, and David Feherty is our guest. Did you learn anything? You'd been in TV for a long time in different roles. What did you learn about being a number one analyst?
There's a little more work involved. You actually have to pay attention occasionally. Having said that, it's not rocket science. We're watching great golf, whether it's on the PGA Tour or in the Live Golf League. Really, all I do is describe what I see, and try to let the viewer know, how a player might be feeling in any given situation. It's not rocket science. And I think that there's so much talking in sports commentary, when a lot of the times all you need is a little silence to let the tension build up. I mean, whether it's a 56-yard field goal or penalty kick.
Yeah. Is that easy for you to do?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
One of your strong suits, man.
No, I can shut up with the best of them.
So, David, do you see more players being added? Do you see, because what I would like to see is, the 54 or so. I think Anthony Kim's a great story. I'd love to see him get more of his game back. I'm rooting so hard for him. But, some of those other players that the golf world is just not very familiar with, it would be nice to get more names in there. But I don't know. There's such great players all over the place. Maybe these kids just need a place to play and they're going to be the next great player.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, this international series that we run, concurrently, the scoring has been phenomenal. And, we find our players more and more migrating towards those events as well. So it's a way into the league. We might see another team next year. Again, that's kind of above me. But, the standard is phenomenal. And the great thing about our league is, we have the same field every week. There are no week tournaments.
I'm curious, David, another question with the guys playing in shorts and the music going on during the event. What did you think about that, and what did the players think about that?
Well, the players love it. Golf is a sort of sport where you don't want somebody farting at the top of your backswing. But there are 100 people could fart at the top of your backswing on the Live Golf League, and you wouldn't hear it. So the music and that kind of thing is great. Shorts, personally, I think if you want to be taken seriously, you should be wearing long pants. But the players seem to love it.
David, it's a tough thing here with our game because we're steeped in tradition, and I am not a huge traditionalist. But when you're talking about sponsorships and you're talking about so much money, the appearance of that, I think it matters. I think it really does. And long pants, for whatever reason, that's just a much better look.
Yeah, I think you're right. But the money side of it, we've been accused of being crass or whatever. But these players are being paid at a commensurate level, to other players in professional sports here. So Dak Prescott has just signed a $240 million deal here for the Dallas Cowboys, and he hasn't won a squat. I don't think that's much of an argument.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, David, is DeChambeau winning the U.S. Open. What did that do, if anything, for Live Golf?
Oh, I think it did a great deal, Dan. He is not unlike Jon Rahm, but maybe in a different way, sort of transformed himself over the last few years from a kind of a nerdy, antisocial sort of a reputation to really, just loves being out there, loves playing and being with the fans, and they love him back.
It's David, he's one of the most misunderstood guys, professional golfers that I've ever met. When I was doing stuff for Fox, he would come up to me when I had his group, and he'd introduce himself to me. He knew my name. He took his hat off. He was extremely respectful, and so I've always been a massive fan of his. I didn't understand the vitriol, the anger, all of the mudslinging at him, because he was odd and went about it a different way. But this kid is a baller. He is a great player.
Yeah, he really is. I was out at Merido, and our team championship is there this week. There was a media day a couple of weeks ago, and I went out and, sitting in the studio watching these guys, or, watching from a distance on the range, I really got my first look at him really up close, and he was hitting some tee shots, and he's got an extra 100 yards. Players don't have that. You know, I mean, he'll hit his ordinary, tee shot or whatever, and then all of a sudden he pulls this thing, out of his bag and hits it 100 yards further. It's the most awesome thing to watch. It really is. He's an incredible athlete.
As we head down the stretch with David Feherty, our guest on Golf with Jay Delsing, you have raised millions for our troops. Where does that come from, David, in terms of, putting your name behind this? Your name in golf, it carries a lot of weight. Where'd that come from for you to raise so much money for our troops?
Well, I grew up surrounded by troops in Northern Ireland in an urban war environment. And, I've just always had an affinity for, either our, men and women in uniform or first responders or cops. And Jay, you've been so great in helping me, with Troops First Foundation over the years. We've raised probably close to $30 million since inception, and I've always been grateful to you for that.
Oh my gosh, I'm in. I have, David, I can honestly say we've had the pleasure of meeting people all over the world and walks of life, CEOs, all this. The coolest men and women I've ever met are these horribly wounded rock stars, for lack of a better word, that come back with the best attitude. I go play golf with them, and they've got these mechanical devices for an arm. One poor guy had no eye. Another guy had no legs, and they're out there playing, laughing, asking me for advice. I have never been more humbled. I have never been more grateful than anything, and I am in whenever you need me. These guys are, I've never met human beings like them.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. The guy with no eyes you're talking about is Matt Bradford. And Matt, his kind of catchphrase is no eyes, no legs, no problem. And he's my cart driver when I go out. Yeah, we've driven through flower beds and over rocks and into lakes. Yeah, it's hysterical.
What's going on? Give us a little update. What are you doing with Troops First between now and the end of the year? Because this is typically when we can kind of do some things.
Yeah. Well, we've got our main fundraiser with George Strait. George has been absolutely, he is a rock star for us. And we'll raise a couple of $1 million in a single day. Down at his place in Tapatio Springs in Burley, just outside of San Antonio. That's next month. So that's the main thing that's coming up.
David, we can't say thank you enough for joining us. It's always a treat to listen to you. I listen every weekend when the live golf is going on and the fun and games that you have. So thanks for doing this. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, boys. Anytime.
That's David Feherty, and this is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV, the number 8, golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our performance center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
I am delighted to welcome Folds of Honor to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney and his team donate 91% of all funds directly to these scholarships. And oh, by the way, to date, 52,000 of these life-changing scholarships have been awarded since 2007. 45% of those 52,000 scholarships have been awarded to minority recipients. So join the Folds of Honor team today and donate at foldsofhonor.com.
This is Dan McLaughlin, inviting you to the 22nd Annual Dan McLaughlin Tournament coming up October 14th at Norwood Hills Country Club. This is all to benefit the Special Education Foundation. By participating, you'll support programs benefiting students with disabilities, making a tangible impact on their lives. Also, your involvement directly contributes to SEF's initiatives, providing resources and opportunities for these students to excel academically and beyond. This golf tournament has raised over $5 million throughout the years, and we want you to be a part of it. October 14th, the Dan McLaughlin Golf Tournament for the 22nd year at Norwood Hills Country Club. To find out more, visit sef-stl.org. If you'd like to play, participate, or donate, again, that's sef-stl.org. And I'll see you on October 14th.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, and it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Welcome back to Golf with Jay Delsing. With Jay, I'm Dan. We do this every Sunday, 8 to 10 on 101 ESPN. And we're coming to you from the Car Shield Studios, as always brought to you by Darty Business Solutions. All right, David Feherty in the books. You got him. That was fun.
Oh, man, is he fun.
All you can do is laugh at some of the things he says.
Oh, I mean, how about when he did happen to mention his own payday, and I was like, and it's sizable. I'm like, yeah, you son of a gun, it sure is.
Yeah, you need to talk a little bit more about what he does. Now, I know we talked about it at the end of the interview there, but giving back to the troops and how much money he's raised and why he got involved and what you do to be involved. I mean, it's pretty amazing, and both you guys are to be commended for what you're doing.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm honored to just be a small part of it. So growing up in Ireland the way he did, and this is no joke, he felt like he grew up in a war zone because there was always some sort of troop activity. There was
you
always
mentioned that a little bit.
Bullets flying. Danny, he said that was normal and typical and growing up in the time that he did. And when he wound up coming to America and coming to the U.S., playing the U.S. tour and bringing his family over here, he told me that it was like, oh my gosh, these are my guys now, meaning I'm going to be, he became a U.S. citizen and has dual citizenship. And he's like, wow, now we're with the best, I hate to say fighting army because nobody seems to fight anymore, but
so the best military.
We're with the best military presence and the best capabilities and the most possibilities in the world, and he was fascinated by that, and he also felt some sort of appreciation for the U.S. being able to do what Ireland could not do, and that's keep everybody safe in terms of the military conflict. Now, you can argue all day long how safe we are, but that's a different story, and that's where he got compelled. And because I said to him at lunch one time, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, this is super cool, and because, Danny, my generation, my dad fought in World War II. I know your dad was in the military, but we never were. And, Danny, I didn't know one person that enlisted, and I'm bummed about that.
Yeah.
I really am. I don't know how we would have done any differently, but none of the kids that I grew up with, joined the Army or the Marines or the Air Force. And I sit there and think about it and think about how important that is in terms of the country. And I'm like, wow. I mean, Danny, my dad missed 2.5 years of his.
I was just going to ask you this.
He missed 2.5 years of his professional baseball career in the middle of being in his mid-20s.
So he's in his prime.
And missed 2.5 years because he fought in World War II.
I never knew that about him.
Yeah, he fought in World War II, and he was drafted, and it didn't matter if you were playing big league ball or if you were whatever you were, you were gone.
Yeah.
And my dad, honestly, my dad said at that moment, and that was cool. I mean, that's what we're doing. We didn't go, I don't think anybody really wanted to die, but they wanted to protect the red, white, and blue. And so for David to do that so he started that foundation years and years ago, and he's raised over $30 million so
That's
far.
Great.
And that's incredible. Now, you've had a tournament on your own, and now you've got a nice committee that helps you, but you guys have raised over $5 million. You know how difficult it is to raise money. You're in your 23rd year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so, so all of this stuff, it's just amazing. And so what we'll do is he'll have some of the heroes, whether we're playing golf, whether we're going to a concert. He's talked about George Strait having this concert in Boerne, Texas, outside of San Antonio, where George does these meet and greets and all this stuff, and does it all for the troops.
It's amazing.
And David does a little stand up and things like that, and I do whatever he asks me to do. So it's just an honor and a privilege. The thing that I have to say one more time, and I know I've said this too many times, but I've never met cooler human beings, and I've never met people with better attitudes. These men and women have no arms, no legs, an eye missing. Who knows? Half their body gone. They got a smile on their face. They make fun of themselves. They call what did David say? The one guy,
Bobber.
Bobber. He had no arms and no legs, and his nickname was Bobber.
They put him in the pool.
Threw him in the pool and called him Bobber. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. And these guys, Danny, would go back over there and do it all over again because that's how much they love the country.
I want to give you some PGA Tour news as we kind of move the subject along, what we're doing in this segment. But Rory McIlroy has a 2-shot lead on the back nine at the Irish Open. And, Jay, he can't finish it off again. It made me think like the U.S. Open. Here we go again.
I know, Danny. How do you not? I mean, he's not closing out these deals. And listen, people might say, who gives a damn? It's the Irish Open. Rory does. He's an Irish kid. This is a big deal to him. He wants to win this championship again. And for him, and it wasn't like, Danny, he was going, and this is no disrespect to the rest of the competitors, but it wasn't as if, he had Jon Rahm chasing him down or he had Scotty Scheffler chasing him down. It was, some stalwarts in the tours, really good players, but man alive. It just, he had a crucial 3-putt from nowhere on, 16 or 17, and then wound up missing his eagle putt on the last hole to send it into extra holes. First of all, forget the look, but it's a bad look. He doesn't care about that, but it's a bad look. But what it's saying is you're like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. What is happening here? Is it lack of concentration? Is it lack of confidence? Definitely one or both of those. And things are going to happen in golf if you play long enough, but this is too much, too frequent. It has been a year for him to forget. He put himself in some great positions, Danny. What did he win? What did he win Wells Fargo by? 7, 8, 6, something.
Huge.
Didn't matter. Tons. And so it's in there. But boy, it's hard getting it out.
Patton Kizzire, FedEx Cup Fall Opener. He wins that. He had not won in 176 events. What do you know about this guy?
So Patton Kizzire he's a hell of a player. He's a streaky player. But what I know about him, Dan, is he started working with a mental coach. He wanted to become quote-unquote bulletproof, and he was struggling with his game. And I got to tell you, man, it's almost like a black hole on the PGA Tour. You play out there, and you're like, man, I'm not playing that bad, but my scores are 73s. I can't beat anybody. And before you know it, you run off a streak of 5 or 6 missed cuts, and you're like, am I ever going to be able to do this again? I mean, all those thoughts go through your mind. So having Kizzire goes through, gets in this sports site guy, and he just grabbed this tournament, Danny, from the beginning, and he walked away with a 5-stroke win, and it was impressive.
I have heard you say to young kids, and when I say young kids, I mean high school players, go out and get a mental coach. As much as you want a swing coach, you got your coach that's on the course with you, but the mental coach, you've talked about that a ton.
When I was playing and started to figure it out on tour, it was more important for me to spend time in the mental side of it than it was on the driving range. If I had my head right, I was going to be fine. Did it mean all the putts were going to go in? Of course not. But and there's a certain. So Danny, look at it this way: if you give a bricklayer a 10-foot putt and say, "Make this thing for $1 million," good luck.
Yeah,
we're going to tell him, "You got to try as hard as you can, man. You're not good. You're a bricklayer. You got to try as hard as you can." You give a PGA Tour player a 10-footer and say, "You got to make this for $1 million." You got to figure out a state of mind to give yourself the best opportunity to perform. Michael Jordan on the free throw line. I'm telling you, watch how these guys work on relaxing. They're breathing, their little pre-shot routines, the dribble, the spin of the ball, and then the launching of the free throw. It's the same way in golf. When you're talented, you got to figure out how to find that mindset, that headspace that works for you, and get there as often as you can.
A winner on the Champions Tour. How about Steve Stricker?
Wow.
He continues to put up really good numbers, and last weekend he picks up a win.
I got to tell you, Danny, and I texted him, and he said he shot 5 under. He shot 66 the last day here in St. Louis and went right out in where are they, Sioux Falls?
Sioux Falls.
Yeah, went to Sioux Falls and won in a playoff against Richard Green. And I got to play, I got to tell you, folks, nobody knows who Richard Green is.
He can play.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I played with him 2 years ago at the Ascension Charity Classic.
I was there.
He was balling. That
he was
kid,
bombing it.
He wound up finishing. He's got the softest, smoothest, most. I'm like, oh, I hate you. You're so soft and smooth. And the ball just rockets off his club head. He's a lefty. And Danny, he was one of the first guys to come out of the Institute of Sport out of Australia. When we were talking about that with Frank Nobilo and talking about how the government was getting involved in running these super, hyped up sport complexes for kids because they're trying to develop good athletes and they're given disciplines. It's super cool.
All right, next segment, we're going to talk about how to improve your game, and that means Elevate Golf.
Elevate Golf, man. I just love Elevate Golf.
And this is our tip of the cap.
Absolutely. A tip on our cap to Elevate Golf. Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, folks, brings us the tip of the cap, and that is 966-030. How am I doing? Colin
You're
Burt,
doing
I
fine.
am forever sorry I screwed up your number, but guys, call Colin. He will absolutely treat you like family. Guys, we're tipping our cap to Elevate Golf. They are changing the way you're going to improve at this game. They're going to use tech. They're going to use your physical limitations or what you do well and make those better, what you don't do well and make those better, and we are going to capitalize on what you have from a physiological standpoint. So Elevate Golf, Kyle over there, Tyler, Zach, oh my gosh, the whole crew. I know I'm forgetting them, but you got to go check them out. It's a cool place. And this is brought to you by the Dean Team, Volkswagen of Kirkwood and Colin Burt. 314-966-0303. There's our number, Danny, and there's our tip of the cap.
And we'll have a testimonial coming up about Elevate Golf. So trying to improve your game, think about this place. We'll talk about it next on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elevate Golf. At Elevate Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elevate Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elevategolf.com. That's ELV8golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our back 9 bar and grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
I am proud to welcome the Gateway section of the PGA back to my show. Whether you're pulling into your favorite driving range, public golf course, or country club, there is an excellent chance that the staff there is part of the over 300 men and women PGA professionals at over 100 facilities that make up our Gateway section. I grew up watching so many of these fine men and women getting to the golf course at dawn, leaving at dusk, spending their entire day running events, giving lessons, and growing this great game. PGA Reach, Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Hope, and the fantastic PGA Junior League are a few of the examples of the programs run by these same PGA professionals. Go to gatewaypga.org to learn more, or to find your next PGA professional for your next lesson, go to pga.com. The Gateway PGA, growing the game we love.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make, and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
So you've been hearing me talk about one of our community's greatest contributors and most philanthropically inclined companies. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Marcone. They're the largest distributor of General Electric appliance parts in North America. Did you know that Marcone is also the largest and most trusted supplier of commercial and residential appliance parts, HVAC, plumbing, commercial kitchens, and pools and spas? All of that's in North America as well. That's right, Marcone does all that. Marcone is committed to supporting our first responders, all the branches of service in our military, our police and firefighters, and many more. From the viewing deck at the Ascension Charity Classic, founded in honor of our military heroes, to their commitment to Wreaths Across America program, Marcone is here for you and your family as well as your community. That's Marcone, the official sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Coming to you from the CarShield Studios, we're brought to you by Daugherty Business Solutions. We have talked it over with David Feherty. That was a lot of fun. We did that earlier in the show. If you'd like to go back and listen to that, just head to jay@jdelsinggolf.com. Jay, let's talk a little bit about Elevate Golf, which is a proud sponsor here on the show. But this truly has been a difference maker. We're going to visit with one of your buddies here in just a moment, Steve Burke, who is now signed up at Elevate Golf. But for people that don't know, what is Elevate Golf?
Right. So Elevate Golf, guys, is more of a, they're trying to disrupt the training and practicing programs that we've all kind of fallen into. And what they do at Elevate Golf is, one of the first things they do at Elevate Golf is Tyler, who is a director of physiology, does an entire fitness exam. So he tests your flexibility, he tests your strength, all of these different things. I went through it. It's extremely thorough. And so what they're doing is, Danny, they're trying to figure out, okay, you love the game. We got you. You're an X handicap. We got you. What's your body like? Because people want to get better, but this is going to tell them, here's why you want to hit it further. We got to get you more flexible, or we got to work out that knee issue, or we got to work, if you can get your back a little more mobile, we're going to be able to get you moving better. And so many of the positions that we're trying to hit are going to get enhanced by your body being better.
All right. Tell me how you came out of it. Did you feel good? What happened after you went through it?
Oh, I felt so old. I felt so old. I was like Tyler. Tyler was fantastic. It took about an hour or so, and it was fantastic. I was so what I predominantly felt like, Danny, was, damn, I wish. I wish this would have been 30 years ago. I wish 40 years ago, whatever. We just didn't have anything like it, and so there were definitely certain things that I couldn't do now that I could have easily been able to do even 15 years ago.
How about your back?
50.
Because you've dealt with back issues.
Yeah.
Did it help?
I got my, it did not help. It flared it up a little bit, which I knew it would, but not a big deal, because I've got my back surgery scheduled for November. So it was all part of the thing. I just think that what's really cool about Elevate is that there's a definitive starting point where we're measuring your body, we're measuring what your swing speeds are, we're measuring what your shot dispersion's like. All of this data is collected. And so if you go in a month later and go, all right, I paid for these sessions, I am excited about that, I'm feeling better, what does the data show? Am I turning better? Because there's going to be something that's going to tell the story, right? And that's why I'm so excited to talk to Steve Burke, because here's a guy that has loved the game. I mean, he is an avid listener. We have grilled him on the show together, Danny, many, many times. I feel like this will be a little payback. We got to say something nice to our buddy Berkey. But here's a guy that's been playing the game for years and years, huge supporter of the game, and he's signed up at Elevate. And he's a 20 handicap or something, and in a short period of time, he's cut 4 strokes off of his game and made his first hole-in-one. I'm laying in bed. I'm thinking, should I get up and practice my guitar? It's like on a Saturday or Sunday, and I get this text, picture his mug, holding the flag, and I'm like, that's impossible.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's
fantastic. It was so good. So we'll talk with him a little more, but you know, we get the mailbag, Danny, and so many people are saying to us, hey, how do I practice? Like, what am I think Mike, our buddy Mike on the national show, he reaches out to us from Alabama all the time and says, you know, he's got good questions, but he's like, I'm going to the range. What am I supposed to do? You know, let these guys at Elevate design a program for you.
You and I went there, and one of the things that we saw all levels, all ages. We saw college players, girls that were in there, boys that were in there.
Yep.
We saw high school kids getting ready for the season.
Yep.
And we also saw some older gentlemen in there,
yep,
too. So it's all ranges of age, and doesn't matter. Boys, girls, men, women, they're all working on their game.
I think we saw Ty Packingham in there, too. He's had a phenomenal year. He's a young man, I think, out at Liberty High School out west. He had a great year last year, you know, because the boys' high school is during the spring. And so this is obviously the girls' time. We saw a lot of girls practicing, but I think he has increased his club head speed, Danny, by like 7 miles an hour. Now, that is a lot. That is a lot, and he is putting in the work, and so, yeah, it's really neat to see. It's also a cool you just got to go by and check it out. It's got a really cool vibe. They have the opportunity there to do stuff like special events. You could do corporate events. You could play sim league golf there. I mean, I'd do that with you anytime. That's fun over there.
Well, let's bring in Steve Burke, who is I guess you'd say a customer, a member at Elevate Golf, and Jay, somebody that obviously we're friends of, but this guy has taken his game to a different level.
Absolutely. Berkey, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. First of all, thanks for supporting golf. I know that with your role with Emerson, you're always pushing the golf objective, and then let's just start from the beginning, but first of all, welcome to the show. Where am I going with this?
Thanks, Jay and Danny. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so let's give all this background, buddy. How long have you been playing golf?
I've been playing about 9 years now.
Okay, so you're just a junkie. I mean, you love the game. You'd play every day if you could, wouldn't you?
Yes, I certainly would.
That's fantastic. All right, so your handicap as you started this year off, Berkey, was what?
I started at a little bit over 19.
Okay.
So a little bit over 19. What is it now?
15.7.
15.7. That's pretty good improvement.
That's really good. When did you join Elevate?
Going on about 2 months now.
So when you go to Elevate and you join, what happens? Run us through the gamut of, like I said, a member now. What happens if you join Elevate Golf? And I have to give this disclaimer, Berkey. And Danny, we said last time that Steve Burke walked into the gym, they called 911 to have the ambulance at the ready. That was not true. I made that up. Don't take that. Don't take that, Steve. That's not right.
Well, I saw Jay getting measured as well, and they did have an ambulance on standby for him as well.
which they absolutely needed too, man. Lay me down in there and take me away.
So you show up at Elevate. What happened?
So the first thing they do is Tyler gives you a physical analysis where they check your flexibility, shoulders, hips, wrists, ankles, pretty much your whole body, anything that could impact your swing. And they take a bunch of measurements, they document all of that, and they put a fitness plan together for you to increase your flexibility to improve your swing.
Now,
so
Berkey,
that's pretty much day one.
They're using that My Coach Golf app, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so that in itself, I was impressed with, because Tyler's been sending me exercises, and they're really easy to explain. They're not difficult. This is not like, hey, you got to do 50 push-ups, which of course I couldn't do. It's like we're talking about doing a bunch of different stretches. So, Steve, what sort of stretches are you doing, and have you found one or two that you seem to help more than another?
Yeah, the stretches are, they're very similar to yoga. I know a little bit about yoga because my wife is a yoga teacher, but the one that's helped me the most, I think it's called an A-frame stretch, where you basically get in a golf posture and then you bend down, and with one hand you touch the floor and basically do a 180 with your hands, stretching it behind your back, similar to the backswing that you'd have in a golf swing, but you really exaggerate it to really increase your flexibility. That one, I think, has helped me more than anything.
Now, everybody wants to hit the ball further. Are you finding that you're hitting the ball further after you did this at Elevate?
Yes. I'd say the flexibility, more than anything, has added 15 to 20 yards to my drive.
Wow, that's considerable.
It's incredible. And what happened about 2 weeks ago when I happened to get a message on my phone? Was it a Saturday or a Sunday morning? I think lightning struck out at Lake Forest out in West County.
Yes, I got lucky, and I got my first hole-in-one about 2 weeks ago on a Saturday.
You didn't skull it, though. This was in the air, a couple of bounces, and you did it the right way.
I would say close to the right way.
There's no wrong way if that thing goes
true.
All right, so let's talk about the important stuff. What was the celebration like?
Oh, it was fun. I have 40 new friends that I had to buy drinks for at the bar, and it was great. It was an amazing feeling. I have many friends, including you, Jay, that have gotten hole-in-ones, and I've obviously never had one before. So it was a great day.
Do you go to Elevate, once, twice, 3 times a week? How much do you use it?
When I'm in town, I try to go 3 days a week, but I travel quite a bit for work. And that's one other thing about the app, the True Coach app that Jay talked about. What's really nice about it is Tyler videos the stretches that he wants you to do. It's downloadable in the app, and you basically get an assignment where you're supposed to do these 3 or 4 days a week. So when I travel, I can do them in my hotel room, and they keep track of what I'm doing or what I'm not doing and how those stretches are helping me. But when I'm in town, I go about 3 days a week.
It's neat because, Berkey, that app kind of keeps you accountable, and that also you're coming up for a reassessment pretty soon, aren't you?
Yes, I think I'm going to have it in the next 2 weeks.
That's going to be really fun. So I'd like to hear you speak on it, Steve, because I know how it makes me feel when I see some progress. But you're seeing the difference in your game. You've dropped over right at 4 strokes or so, but you're also seeing different improvement levels. What are you expecting to see or hoping to see from when you do the new number evaluation?
I'm really hoping to get my drives further. Everybody wants to drive the ball further, but the big improvement, and I think that's really dropped my handicap, is my misses are so much better. I'm hitting it closer to the middle than I ever have. So even when I miss, it's still hitting the fairway. It just may hit the edge of the fairway.
So I guess you would say to anybody out there, go check out Elevate Golf, and it's worth your time to do it.
Absolutely.
Steve, thanks for joining us. This has been fun. Congratulations on the hole-in-one, too. That's the most important thing, Jay, is the hole-in-one.
Absolutely, Berkey. A hole-in-one. Now you're going to get the second one coming up really, really soon. You're not going to have to wait another 9 years.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on the show.
You got it.
All
That's
right,
Steve
Berkey,
Burke.
take care, buddy.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
This is Jim Hackenberg, founder of Orange Whip and Orange Whip Training. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on here on 101 ESPN. Again, we do this every Sunday morning, 8 to 10, and we're coming to you from the CarShield Studios, presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. All right, Steve Burke, he's in, Jay. He's a Elevate guy, and it's obviously improved his game. Our thanks to him for giving us a testimonial, but really cool place. I've been there. I enjoy it. A lot of kids go out there. We mentioned that before, so very cool place.
Yeah, absolutely, Danny. And it's just a different way to try to get better. It's disrupting the old kind of guard in terms of ways to practice, and just helping you use technology, helping you gain more information about your own body, your own swing, your own tendencies, all those things that are just going to make you play better, man.
All right, some other news I wanted to get to in this segment. Mark O'Meara has decided to retire. So he's saying goodbye to golf, at least professionally. How about when I mention the name Mark O'Meara? What comes to mind?
Just first of all, a great guy. So, Danny, I played my first U.S. Amateur in 1979. I qualified. We played it. It was in Cleveland. It was at Canterbury Country Club. I was a senior in high school, and Mark O'Meara won the tournament. I had just gotten my scholarship to UCLA and went out to Los Angeles. The USAM was in July, I think. I went out to Los Angeles at the end of August, beginning of September, about a month before school started. And who's out at the golf course at Bel Air Country Club? Mark O'Meara. And who needs a caddy? Mark O'Meara. So I caddied for Mark O'Meara.
Really?
So Mark's about 5 years older than I am. He went to Long Beach State. He's a California kid, but just a great guy. He owned California, man. He won the Pebble Beach tournament, Danny, I think 5 times on tour. He's got, 18 wins, 2 major championships, World Golf Hall of Famer. We'll get him on the show. He was a great guy to play with. He was so nice to me I guess I was an incoming freshman, so I guess I was a freshman in college. And dude, that guy could golf his ball, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta get to the range. I gotta get better. I cannot hang with this guy right now. And it was funny, and he always remembered that
That's
day.
cool.
And yeah, it was absolutely cool. You know what else, Danny? At the time, I had never seen a more upright swing in my life.
What do you mean upright?
Upright, so it means his hands were super high, and he was, he didn't go around and get much depth on his backswing. He went up a lot, and man, he hit some. I just remember going, ooh, this guy's really good. I got to get better because I cannot beat this guy right now. And I knew he was older than me, but I was like, but he couldn't have been kinder. I asked him a couple questions, and he was like, yeah, and if you do this, you should try that. And so it was a great day. And I think I retired as a caddy, Danny, probably about a month after that, when I had I think I had Ed Greenberg, the Hall of Fame baseball player, and one of his friends, and I caddied, and I think Ed shot like 114, and his friend played worse, and I think I got $9 a bag.
Is that right?
I retired.
Yeah, you said that's enough?
I'm out.
I'm jealous of you. You got a chance to play Bel Air all the time.
Oh, dude, it is the coolest place.
I'm so jealous of you.
And I got to play 9 holes with Sean Connery, man. You know who was playing out there all the time, Denny, who just passed away not long ago, was Jerry West. And Jerry West was a one handicap, and he loved to gamble. He loved UCLA, so he'd come up and ask us, hey, what are you guys doing when you hit these putts like this? And he was fun. 6'6" and could crush it.
Is that right?
Yeah,
pretty good athlete.
Yeah,
not a bad NBA player.
How about having your likeness as the logo of the whole league?
It's awesome.
That is super cool.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but the Solheim Cup.
Yep.
The Americans take it home. So when you think of the Solheim Cup and the Americans this year, it looked like after day one they were just going to dominate all the way through, and they take it here in 2024.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Danny, the stars showed up. Our best players acted like our best players, and they performed. Lilia Vu, I mean, it went up and down the line between Nelly and Ms. Kang, and up and down the line. Rose Zhang went 4-0, and we just handed it to them. Now, they didn't. It wasn't a rout. The Europeans made it very close. But what's really interesting is Captain Lewis. She made such an So Stacey Lewis made such an interesting observation. She's like, what are the men doing when they win? What are they not doing when they don't win? And there was a lot of data that she started diving into, Danny. And because the LPGA Tour is just not quite at the same places, the PGA Tour, they didn't have a lot of data collected. So she went to one of her sponsors, KMPG, and they developed this strategic formula, and where she could start looking at shots and start breaking it down from a really techie analytical standpoint. And I got to tell you, I think it's super cool. And those are some of the little things that a captain can do that can really, really make a difference.
Do captains hurt feelings along the way, Jay? And then do those feelings, once they're hurt initially, like, I'm going to sit you, you're not going to play, things of that nature, where if you made the Solheim Cup team, you want to play, and all of a sudden that captain says no in this particular day or this particular whatever it is. Guys and gals, they get their hurt. They get the feelings hurt, don't they?
Oh, Danny. Well, first of all, you're a competitor. Forget your feelings hurt. You're pissed.
Yeah.
You know what? You're like, why are you not putting me out there? I want to wear the red, white, and blue, and I want to go to battle. And so, yeah, it gets hurt. You want to talk about hurt? How about Leona Maguire for the Euros? She's been on the last two victorious European side. She only got to play 2 matches.
That's it.
She was pissed.
Well, that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was mad. I just pulled up. How about this? Rose Yang 4 points, 4-0-0. We got Lauren Coughlin, who has been balling lately, 3.5 points, 3-0-1. We got Megan Kang, who I just mentioned, 3-0-0. We got Allison Corpus. She was 3-1-0. Nelly Corda went 3-1-0. I mean, we had some girls really, really, really show up. And then what I want to, you always look at these things, Danny, and then you'll want to look down at, like, who stood out on the European side. Charlie Hall. I mean, first of all, she's become the coolest.
Cracks me up.
She's like a rock
smoking
star,
darts out there.
And like you just got a dart going the whole time. On one hole she hit her drive and she walks over to the crowd and says, "Anybody got a light?" I'm like, really? What is this, a Dirty Harry movie? I thought that was so cool. So she goes 3-2-1. But you want to talk about playing her? I mean, she played everything, right? And then you go all the way down to the list and you look at Leona Maguire, and she got to play twice.
Yeah,
and she's got a sterling record, and I guarantee you, she's like, yeah, I'm pissed, but I'm a team player. I'm going to do whatever whatever I can do. But I'm like, she went out and destroyed in her individual match because she wanted to send a point to her captain, and I think she did. So it's really interesting because when you get to the bottom end, and we got to mention this just because we love this girl so much, is Lexi Thompson, 1-3-0. She's still got a phenomenal Solheim Cup record, and this will be it for her. She's not going to play anymore.
You mentioned the data, and when I think data, I think analytical analysis. I'm not sure there's a sport, Jay, that uses analytics any better than the game of golf. Would you agree with that?
I think you're right, Danny. I think you're right. We've gotten to a day and age in the game of baseball where we don't know what the heck we're doing. We're taking guys out that are unhittable because the statistics say you can't go through the order the third time. And you're like, Kevin Cash took out, who did he take out?
Blake Snell.
Blake Snell, who was unhittable.
And that was in the World Series.
And that was in the World Series. It was he was the Tampa Bay Rays. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of run amok a little bit, Danny. But golf is interesting because you can garner a lot from these statistics in terms of, your yardages, your
spin rate,
your spin rates, how you can control the golf ball and things like that, and that really matters. And I think what was really interesting, Danny, is that they're using this same sort of tech in baseball now, with launch angles for the guys' bats and spin rates for the pitchers' curveballs and fastballs. It's insane.
So at the Ascension, I would follow you, and then I would always walk over to the practice range.
Yeah.
I wanted to see who was on the range, just watch him hit.
The range is a great place to watch it.
It's so
and
cool.
Observe. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And just seeing swing after swing that looks perfect to me.
You look like a little kid in a candy store over
it.
there. That's awesome.
And the guys are using Rapsodo.
Yep.
They've got it lined up with their phones. It's techie to where they can have the machine, if you will. It's small, but it's linked up to their phone. and that's what they would go check.
It's a big shout out to a local company, Rapsodo. Justin Bryant's cool dude, and he was at the Ascension Charity Classic, and they were giving that away, some of the data away and showing its characteristics, and that was super fun. And yeah, Danny, I mean, there's TrackMan, there's GC Quad Pro, there's all of these different devices, but the Rapsodo is, it's right there with all of them, and the data is helping people play better. So it's, for an old school guy like me, I mean, we had nothing. We just used our eyes. It's like, no. See how that ball flew? Yeah. Do that again, you're going to be fine, right. If we could just do that again. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's fun to watch how we progress, Danny, and how we keep going. And from a golf standpoint, in my mind, this is all still Tiger. This is all Tiger effect. It's the ripple effect of having some generational talent come in and play so well and bring so many new eyeballs into the game. And now we've got Topgolf bringing people in, even though they're struggling from a business standpoint. But there's PopStroke. There's the new league, Danny, that's going to come out, this January, that we can't wait, the new Tiger Rory League. There's sim leagues that are going on all over the place. Whether it's too hot in the summer to go out and play, definitely gets too cold. We got our great buddy Adam Betts down at Family Golf and Learning Center, who is helping people with their hooks, their slices. They got sim leagues. They got indoor short game facilities. They got a gym of their own. They're doing great stuff down there. It's just awesome to watch.
That's Jay. I'm Dan. Coming up, a lot of people tell me this is their favorite part of the show, the mailbag, and that's next on Golf with Jay Delsing.
I am delighted to welcome Folds of Honor to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney and his team donate 91% of all funds directly to these scholarships. And oh, by the way, to date, 52,000 of these life-changing scholarships have been awarded since 2007. 45% of those 52,000 scholarships have been awarded to minority recipients. So join the Folds of Honor team today and donate at foldsofhonor.com.
This is Dan McLaughlin, inviting you to the 22nd Annual Dan McLaughlin Tournament coming up October 14th at Norwood Hills Country Club. This is all to benefit the Special Education Foundation. By participating, you'll support programs benefiting students with disabilities, making a tangible impact on their lives. Also, your involvement directly contributes to SEF's initiatives, providing resources and opportunities for these students to excel academically and beyond. This golf tournament has raised over $5 million throughout the years, and we want you to be a part of it. October 14th, the Dan McLaughlin Golf Tournament for the 22nd year at Norwood Hills Country Club. To find out more, visit sef-stl.org. If you'd like to play, participate, or donate, again, that's sef-stl.org. And I'll see you on October 14th.
If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, any make or model, then you need to visit the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. They are the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. My daughter and I both drive vehicles supplied by Colin and the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. And it's because we know we can trust them. They made the car buying experience painless and easy, and their customer service is second to none. Every single step of the car buying experience was taken care of for us. You can reach Colin at 314-966-0303, and he will answer all of your questions and put your mind at ease. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood has new or pre-owned vehicles to be purchased or leased, whichever you prefer. Once you visit the Dean Team Volkswagen on Manchester in Kirkwood, you'll be a customer for life because they will treat you like family. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Hi, I'm Adam Betts, PGA professional and owner at Family Golf and Learning Center. We welcome golfers of all ages and abilities, from the junior golfer to the experienced players. From our indoor TrackMan simulators, large short game area, grass tees, and driving range bays, to our golf instruction, leagues, clinics, and camps, we connect you with every resource to reach your golfing goals. We look forward to helping you improve your golf game at Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf. Visit us at familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com.
Hey, Jay Delsing here, and I know I speak for all of we golfers. We're always looking to try to improve our game. For me, that means I go to one place, and that one place is Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. Tom DeGrand opened his family business in 1975 with a goal of providing St. Louis with the finest in golf equipment, instruction, and technology. Whether you need a new rangefinder, your first set of clubs, or anything else you can think of, Pro-Am Golf has just what you're looking for. If you're a scratch handicap or you carry a 20 handicap, come visit Pro-Am Golf and inquire about a lesson from Tom DeGrand. He's been fixing golf swings and making St. Louis better at golf for over 40 years. Go get your gear, lessons, or anything golf-related where I go, and that's Pro-Am Golf in Brentwood. You can also visit them online at Pro-Am Golf USA. That's ProAmGolfUSA.com. It's Pro-Am Golf, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing, brought to you by Car Shield and Doherty Business Solutions, every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
A professional golfer, as you watch on TV every Sunday afternoon, never ventures onto the course without his trusted caddy. This was true for me for my entire career. I want you to think of Powers Insurance as your insurance caddy that you never had. Just as my golf caddy helped me to assess risk on the golf course, Powers Insurance can do the same for you in your busy and complicated life. Tim Davis, COO at Powers Insurance, did exactly that for me and saved me over 50% on one of my coverages. A good insurance risk advisor can help you know when to take a chance or when it may be smarter to take a little more club. Give the folks at Powers Insurance a call and get a caddy for all of your insurance needs. Call them at 314-725-1414. That's 314-725-1414. That's Powers Insurance.
Final segment on the show. This is Golf with Jay Delsing as we come to you from the Car Shield Studios, as always, presented by Doherty Business Solutions. If you missed it earlier, you missed a great interview, a fun interview with David Feherty. You can go back on the podcast and listen to that as well. So, Jay, we love the mailbag. We get great questions here. One of the first questions we get simply is, how do I correct a stance? What's the best way to correct a stance? As I guess you addressed the golf ball.
Yeah, no, I mean, Danny, it's one of the fundamentals of the game. It's one of the things that a tour player will work on incessantly so the biggest challenge for us is, how do I play from the same place every single day? And what I mean by that is, how far apart are my feet? How far away from the ball are they? And how much weight is on each foot? I mean, it goes on and on and on. So let's just say you're going to address the ball. Let's say you're going to be hitting your driver. Okay, so we're going to want your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, and we're going to want you a distance from the ball that when you slightly bend over from the waist, your arms hang down and can grab the golf club in a very relaxed manner. That's how far away you should be. Not with your arms way away from your body, and not with them jammed in real tight, right? So you're just going to bend over, and they're going to be a comfortable distance away from you. You need to have some room between your hands and your body so that there's some room for you to turn, and the club can swing through there, okay? And so with our driver, I'm going to say, folks, we want 45% of the weight on your left foot. This is for a right-handed driver, so your front foot, 55 on the right, because we want to have a slight tilt in our shoulders so that we can swing up and hit this ball off of this tee, right? And that's what our stance looks like. We want our stance, we want our feet, our knees, our hips, and our shoulders stacked on top of each other. And folks, the biggest thing I see time after time with amateur golfers, Danny, is their shoulders are open. So look at those forearms. Make sure those forearms are flat. Your back forearm is not above your front, and that will help you get rid of that slice. 99% of the amateur golfer slice, that'll help you get rid of it. But get that stance, like I said, and make sure that it's aimed parallel left of your target.
So do you use the sticks much when you're on the driving range?
I usually just put a club down.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Same thing, same idea.
Same idea. Just, when I was playing all the time before they had those aiming rods, I used my umbrella. All the time.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, we just throw it on the ground and you go up and down the on the PGA Tour, and that happens all the time. So that's basically your stance.
We get a lot of questions about driving irons. Should I look into it?
Yeah, that's interesting. So the driving irons made a comeback, Danny. We went away from a driving iron. So a driving iron is an iron. It's got to probably, when I was a kid and I learned, one of the first things that Andy North told me was, Dels, you got to figure out, you got to get yourself a 1 iron and you got to hit that off the tee so that you get your ball in play. I'm like, okay. So that's what I did. Turns out from an analytical point of view, I did the exact opposite of what I should have done. Should have kept smashing it up there. Anyway, so you get a 1 iron or a driving iron. Today, a driving iron is going to be somewhere between maybe a 1.5 and a 3 iron, Danny. So it's going to probably have somewhere between 14 and 18 degrees of loft on it, somewhere in there. And why that's handy is that oftentimes people prefer, especially a lower handicap, will prefer an iron off a tee when it's something less than driver over, say, a 5-wood or a 6-wood or a 4-wood, something like that, okay? This driving iron will stay a little lower. It'll give you a little more push in a lower direction with a little more run. And it's one of those things that it's really about confidence, where you find that hole, you just really don't like the way it looks, or you're not sure what you should do. You get something that you can hit straight and that'll get a little, gain a little bit on the ground for you, and you take that and you put your ball in play. That's really where it is. And those driving irons, Danny, we went away from the longer irons, and we still have, because of the hybrids, because people use hybrids so much, which has really helped improve their game. It helps them hit a longer iron much higher in the air. This driving iron will have a little bit of that, but it'll be a little less high and a little more drive, a little more line drive to it.
We got an equipment question for an amateur. What about a softer flex shaft? Do you advise that?
I do. Well, it's interesting. So one size does not fit all, folks. Okay, so like we've said before, go to Pro-Am Golf, get fitted. Tom DeGrand, his team over there, they are fantastic, but you got to get fitted. And what we have to figure out is, what's your swing speed? So the shaft flex, Danny, is all predicated on how fast or how slow you swing. Okay. And what that is imagine, because I know you know this well, but we're watching hockey players, and we're watching even, we're watching some of these guys that play in the NHL, Danny. They're using these titanium shafted sticks, and they flex like crazy now. Now, the old wooden ones used to flex as well, but nothing like this. And so what it does is, when you get that flex point just right, it'll add a tremendous amount of pop onto your drive or onto your 3-wood or whatever club you're hitting. Even your irons flex as well, but it'll help get a little more distance. And sometimes, this is why you got to get fitted. Sometimes it will help you to go to a softer shaft and not a firmer shaft, because your swing speed might be slowing, and that softer shaft will flex more at the right time. You need to get that checked out by getting fitted. I know that's the third time I said it, but it is everything, because it all depends on how fast you swing. Some people swing. I still use an extra stiff shaft. All right, I'm 63, but I still can hit it. As I start aging, that's going down, man.
Yeah.
That is going down, and I want that thing to be a little more flexible to help me get a little pop down at the bottom.
Always think about when somebody gets a birthday present, or Santa shows up on Christmas.
Oh, Santa.
Santa Claus is not too far away. Santa,
I know it.
Santa's getting ready. He might be making some clubs.
That's right. Hey, Danny, should we talk about the merch, the Jay Delsing Golf Shop that's open?
This is where I'm going, Jay.
I love it.
What do you got?
Look at you. So, guys, my daughter Gemma has researched, and we have merchandise now. If you go to gosh, I'll get you the exact.
Jay, if you're going to sell something, you got to make sure and know where to go.
Exactly. I'm gonna get you the exact stuff, but it is super cool. We've got hats. We've got
sweatshirts.
Visors. We've got sweatshirts. We've got it all. So it's the J Delsing Golf Shop. So it's jdelsinggolfshop.com. Folks, a portion of every sale, we are donating money to Folds of Honor and the Western Golf Association. We are going to help proliferate the Western Golf, the Evans Scholarship Program. We're going to help get kids college paid for through the game of golf. And you're going to hear a lot more about that. Western Golf is going to come on the show. We're going to get some of their people, but a portion of the sales are going to be split between Folds of Honor and the Western Golf Association. I couldn't be more excited, man. I said to my daughter, who's going to buy something that says Golf with Jay Delsing on it? She goes, Dad, you're going to be surprised. The first day we sold a couple $100 worth of stuff, and I'm like, I should have had a bigger family, Danny. I might have been able to sell more.
So let's go back to the clubs. I just thought of this. You're talking about getting fitted.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody's out there and they want to get a loved one a set of clubs, which is fine.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, the thought is, hey, here's a new set of clubs.
Yep.
But that set of clubs may not be the right set of clubs for that person.
D, look at it this way. Who buys stuff right off the rack? You and I, we couldn't be built more differently, but neither of us can buy stuff off the rack. Your legs are big and strong and have to have certain and mine are long and skinny and all that. So you just need, it's an extra level of customization that you have to have. You have to have it. It will help you play the game at such a better level. It'll give you so much more enjoyment. One of the things, Danny, and I know I've said this way too many times, but I'm going to say it again. If I have a guy say to me, I do you like your driver? Yeah, well, I kind of did. I thought I did. I'm like, what do you mean you thought you did? He goes, well, my buddy Fred over here got a driver and got fitted for it, and he just bombs the hell out of it. And so I hit his, and I hit it really good, so I just bought what he bought. I'm like, oh, no. Come on, man. What's that show on ESPN? Come on, man.
Right.
Come on. I'm like, and I'm like, so do you well, let me see you hit it. He goes, I can't hit it. He made one swing with the other one, bought it, and now that's in the bag. And now you got that major investment. You didn't get that extra level of customization. And Danny, for the most part, that's not going to cost you anything.
Yeah.
You just got to take a little time and let these guys put you on the computers. And it's kind of fun if you're a golf guy.
So here's another question about equipment. This person wrote in and said that they were at the Ascension Charity Classic and they were watching the guys putt, but there was not one uniform in terms of the grip. You know, there wasn't just one size. It was all kinds of different sizes for a grip. So tell an amateur, what's the best way to get a grip on a putter? How do you do it?
Get a grip, baby. Let's get a grip.
Sure.
So, Danny, that's a great point because this is an area in the last 5 to 8 years, maybe even 10 years, where things have gotten a little crazy, and it's a good in a good way. They have figured out a way to make a bigger grip that feels better in your hands, that doesn't screw up the overall weight and the balance of your putter. And they're called Super Stroke grips. And they come in large, they come in small, medium, large, extra large, and jumbo. And I mean, you can get something that's twice as big as a baseball bat in there.
But it's all about feel.
It's all about feel, but it's also about weight. So they did it out of this really great composite that is light. Because if you stick a boatload of weight, Danny, on the opposite end of the head of the putter, you'll lose feel for the head of the putter. So you've got to keep the integrity of that putter, and they have done a really, really good job of that. So the best way is to try stuff. Go over to Pro-Am Golf. Tom DeGrande's got a boatload of putters that are sitting in there with all sorts of different style grips. And Danny, let's say you have a broom hand. You putt with a long putter. They got those too. They've got everything covered from scoop to nuts over there. You'll figure it all out. But you got to check it out, and you've got to see. So they'll have a pistol grip, Danny, which is an old school grip like I use that's got a little taper in it, and it feels really good in my hands. They'll also have that in a super stroke size. So it'll be bigger. So if you have these massive hands, this will help get those hands on the grip much more comfortably. I've also seen guys with smaller hands using bigger grips because they feel like they take their hands out of that stroke a little more. So all I'm going to recommend, and I love that. Who sent us this question, Dave?
This was Jason.
So Jason, this has been my favorite question that we've had for the last couple of weeks because this is super cool. It's in the realm of tech, but it's not overwhelming. It's this cool company that's made these grips that you can put on a putter and go, oh, man, that feels so good.
Interesting.
And you can get there and try it out, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
We had a couple of questions about pulling putts. Amateurs do that all the time. Is there a way to make sure that you're not pulling the golf ball?
Yeah, so I'd recommend looking at the puttingart.com and looking into a very, very low-cost investment to help you with your stroke. Usually pulled putts are a function of a poor aim. So typically speaking, if you're a right-handed golfer and you pull your putts a lot, it's because you typically aim too far right and you're needing to pull it because you know that if you stroke it out to where you're aiming, it's going to miss the hole or miss your line. So my biggest takeaway for people that are having trouble with pushes and pulls, check your aim. And then the second part is watch how much you rotate the face. And what I mean by that is how much it opens and closes. You do not want a lot of opening and closing on the backswing and on the follow through. Take it straight back, maybe a tiny bit inside and straight through, and try to keep that face just as square as you can.
About a minute and a half left. Jay, this is another one that got a lot of questions this week. Fix my slice.
Oh, man.
Do we have we got 90
have
seconds.
Enough time? So the biggest thing about the slice is the ball is sitting there, and in order for it to get that left or right spin on it, Danny, the club face has to be coming from out to in with an open face. So you can imagine the swipe across, and then the golf ball has clockwise spin on it. So it's spinning left or right hard. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to fix your aim. We got to aim straighter down the line, more at your target, and we've got to get you coming. We got to get the golf club feeling like it's coming more from the inside or more from your right hip pocket and swinging out to the right. And when you do that, folks, close the face. You're going to feel like the face is closing. Your first reaction is going to be, oh no, this is going to be terrible. And you look up and the ball goes straight, or even with a little draw. That is the way to do it. Hank Haney, for you big slicers with high handicappers, check out Hank Haney's anti-slice opinion and his method. It can help you. It's unusual, but it can help you. It helps you exaggerate the hell out of what you're doing in order to get you a different result in your golf swing.
This has been a great show. Our thanks to David Feherty. Also, some others that chimed in about Elevate Golf, so that was fun to do that. We had the mailbag. We went through the news of the week. We talked a lot about LIV in our first segment. Jay, fun show. How do we end it?
Congratulations to the red, white, and blue. It hit him straight, St. Louis, just like the Solheim girls did. Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Family Golf and Learning Center. No matter your age or skill level, Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood, has something for you. They've got it all. PGA and LPGA instruction, double-decker driving range, par 3 golf course, TrackMan simulators, a large short game green design to help you with all your shots around the green, bunkers, rough, and Zoysia fairway pitching. And now open, the Tahoma Bermuda Grass Tees, the best turf to hit from in St. Louis. It's all at Family Golf and Learning Center. To schedule a lesson or to find out more, visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.